It is Thursday, June 12th. I will be your host of today's episode, Cardelia. I am here with my good friend, Brian Ralph. Now, the last time we did a full episode, we were mean to each other. Okay, this is going to be a happy episode. This is going to be a happy episode. Brian is in the great state of Florida for a family beach vacation. So
yes,
he's going to be beaching after this. So we're just going to have a good time on this one. No mean comments. Hand up, I promise. Brian, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. And I felt you were more mean to me than I was mean to you.
Listen.
So I accept the informal apology.
That's crazy. You're off to a good start. Now we're doing the whole who has to apologize thing, but I'm gonna move on. It's okay. How are things down in Jacksonville, Florida currently?
Things in Jacksonville, Florida are great. It is hot AF. There are thunderstorms every afternoon, which is great, just napping weather. We're doing solid. We're doing pretty good.
So can I get a statement on the Mario Kart shirt? Because I love it.
Oh, yes, this is just a phenomenal shirt. Target find.
That's Target's underrated for the graphic tee kind of section. I feel like they don't get the love they deserve.
They got some good shirts, and I've discovered this because I'll let go with my wife, obviously, and kids, and they want to go roam around, and I'll meander over, and they've got some good stuff. I also got a Pizza Planet shirt from Target. That's just absolutely elite.
That's a great shirt. Great pull with the Pizza Planet. Also, are you a sweatsuit guy? Like a nice little like sweatshirt with the matching sweats guy?
No, I will enjoy sweatpants, sweatshirts when it gets colder and the weather calls for it. But I don't think I've worn a matching set since my high school basketball days.
Yeah, either have I. Unfortunately, that's a lie. Because my dad got me hooked on the matching sets. And let me tell you, Target has an underrated one. So, once you stop buying all your home field sweats and you find a way to make your way to the Target section, go ahead and grab yourself a pair and let me know how you feel about it. I feel like you won't be disappointed.
That's the problem. Home field doesn't have the matching sweats all the time with the sweatshirts.
I mean, they need to put me in like, what is it, a think tank, a think group? I got all the ideas for the sweatsuits. You let me know. All right, let's go ahead and not waste any more time here. Let's get to the YouTube comment of the day and let's see what we have here. Let's find something positive today to really go along with the theme.
Yeah, get something good. Get something good.
Yeah, actually, before we get positive though, can I ask you a question?
Always.
Is Keba Keita a super athlete?
No.
Is he athletic?
It depends on what your definition is, but he's not athletic.
So Greg and I had a conversation about because like I guess it was Tyler Mures. I'll TM is what I call him, aka trademark. He tested out athletically at like a camp or something, more athletic than Keba Keita like 2 years ago, I guess.
Interesting.
Which I'm just like, that's quite the, what I'm saying? That's quite the endorsement because I think Keba Keita is a low-key a freak athlete.
He's not a freak athlete, but he's not unathletic. So I think that bodes well for trademark.
Okay, so we need to have an athletic conversation on here to we'll have a tier maker with levels of athleticism and what is between.
We need to do a sleepers combine. That's what we need to do.
You said what?
We need to do a sleepers combine. That's what we need to do.
Do we need to do that? I feel like people will be absolutely disgusted with our output there.
People will be mean. Yes, people will be very mean.
Yeah, I mean, what's new though? Let people go ahead and be mean to us. The YouTube comments are just a bunch of Purdue fans on this Purdue video, but let's go with this one. This comes from Tom Reddy or Tom Righty. I think I'm pronouncing that. You have a very entertaining show, and I'm enjoying watching you discuss the Purdue program. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Tom. You also have a very cute doodle in your profile picture. Ralph, do you guys have a dog?
We do. She's in the back of some of my videos. Little Coco, who's a 12-pound Chihuahua mixed with something we do not know.
Listen, oh my, I could not put my hand up higher. Coco, that's so disrespectful. Like I haven't recorded you in the bed fluffing the. Ralph thinks we can't see you because he blurred his background, but we can see you in the back, the fluff in the bed. I'm so sorry, Coco. That's on me.
Yeah, the guest room / office creates for some interesting backgrounds sometimes.
Yeah, it's special though. Honestly, I enjoy it more than I love all your backgrounds, Ralph, but that one just feels like an OG Ralph sleep. Like I feel like you have OG sleepers moments now.
Yeah,
that's where they take place.
100%. That's where I can go at night to record Ralph reports when I don't wake up the rest of the house.
Very, very, very special. Let's go ahead and get to the Discord comments here. Everyone join the Discord. The Discord is $9.99 a month. You can join on your desktop. Make sure you join on your desktop because otherwise they hit you with a bunch of fees kind of there. So I want to make sure that you get the price that's advertised. There's a link in the description of our Twitter bio. Great community, great place to be, and you get to have your comments read on every single show by being a part of the Discord. And you can also play in fantasy football or not fantasy football, but college football dynasty mode, which Ralph, can I get an update on that? Where are you at with that?
I am not finishing the 25 one. I've just a lot of travel, obviously,
Mm.
next month, but 26 has been purchased.
Already
We are
purchased, huh?
already purchased. Yeah, I'm a sucker. But we will be rocking on that pretty hard.
Okay, I respect that. I'm
We
very
gotta get you we gotta get you back involved.
listen, I'm just in typical Carter fashion, I will put so much into 2 weeks of the online dynasty, but then like man, y'all move so fast, like on everything with like the recruiting and everything on there. I don't know what it is. I need to lock
You
in.
take 5 to 10 minutes every other day, and you're fine.
Yeah, but like I suck at golf, Ralph. So like I'm outside with that 5 to 10 minutes. I'm watching YouTube videos on how to fix my slice.
Oh, I've learned to just play my slice.
Oh, okay. What if my slice is so nasty that it's impossible to play it unless I'm aiming 90 degrees left?
I was about to say my lineup for a drive is about 60 degrees to my left. Like it looks like I'm hitting it this way, and it ends up that way.
Hey, you gotta play your game. They always
Gotta
said
play your game. Gotta play your
play
game.
your
Hit
game.
your shot.
Exactly. Shoot your shot. We will see. We will start today with Guy. What age is too old to not be married? At age 18, I feel that the elite marriage window is like 26 to 32. If you do it before, then your brain is still developing and you don't know what you're doing. But older than that, you're missing your prime.
Hart, what age did you get married?
I got married, let's see, it was 2021, which would have made me, I think 28, 27.
So you're in that window.
I'm in the aforementioned guy window, yes.
I'm before the guy window. Got married right after I turned 25, and it was phenomenal. Felt great. You
Yeah.
know, didn't feel like I missed my prime. Maybe we had, maybe done another year without kids or so before really getting into that, but now we're on the back end of the baby stuff, and it feels pretty good to still be newly 33 and have energy to
Yeah.
enjoy some of that with.
Yeah, that's not, listen, there is no, first of all, guy, aren't you like 16? Like this is the crazy thing to think about. Oh, he says, yeah, I didn't know you were 18, guy. My fault. That's on me. But yeah, listen, let marriage play out the way it plays out.
Yeah.
My parents got married at like 34, I think something like that. So like there is no window. Do what you got to do. I
Who
will
you
say
meet matters much more than the age.
that's very true. I love giving life advice out here. Also, Fam responded to that and said and called Guy an a-hole to let him know that I think he's not really too fond of that comp there.
Yeah.
Uh Just Snacky says rank the top five Big Ten forward centers. Also, who do you think finishes the season as at the starter spot, Clough or Jacobson?
I wouldn't be shocked if both of them started.
Start together, you think?
Yeah, why not?
Where's TKR?
Injured.
Oh, that's insane.
That's a good point. That's a good point. My guess is you're going Clough, TKR, and Jacobson off the bench.
Jacobson off the yeah. Have you seen the clips of Jacobson though? He doesn't look skinny anymore.
He doesn't look skinny anymore, but I don't think you brought Clough in to come off the bench, and TKR is not coming off the bench.
That's very true. All right, so let's rank the top five Big Ten forwards and centers.
Yeah,
One
so
has one. Is it Yax or is it TKR out of respect?
they're 1 and 2. I'm very high on what Yaxel can do in the Danny
Me,
Wolf.
I am too, but out of respect for what TKR did in the Big Ten last year,
That's fair.
I feel like we go him one, Yaxel two, three. Is it Big T? Oh, or Biddle.
I love Biddle.
I love Biddle too.
I
Big
love
T was
Biddle's
good
game.
last. I think I'd go Biddle then Big T.
I'm not putting Big T in the top five.
Really?
Really.
Who else you putting in there? Got to put somebody in there.
Yeah. I put Clough in there.
It's Pharrell Payne's at Maryland, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. He's not top five though. I still think that Big T's got to be in the top five.
Why? Like,
Well, you name someone else though. We're at three right now. Who's four or five?
I don't know if I put Pharrell Payne in there.
You can't
I'm
say
I'm
he's not,
I'm scrolling.
can't say he's not there and then not.
Are we going to count Tucker DeVries in this conversation as a forward?
No, I think he's got to be
No.
at least a power forward.
All right. Let's see. I'm scrolling down through Jim Root's roster sheet
Going
here.
through Big Ten teams right now.
Yeah, I'm going down the roster sheet, making sure that there's nobody I'm forgetting. We
Yeah,
counting Cohen Carr as a forward?
we are counting Cohen Carr as a forward.
Cohen Carr is four.
Over Big T, you're gonna get cooked.
I am I am locked in on Cohen Carr being a first team All Big Ten guy this year. I think
Oh
he's
my
going to be
God.
awesome.
B-Rob, I know we're gonna have a hot take segment later in this show. Don't get them all out at once.
I'm laying the groundwork, man. I'm
Hey,
laying the groundwork.
I respect it. I think I go Big T at four, and then honestly, trying to think. I,
I know Cohen Carr just dunks, you
I
know.
I'll go Devin Royal at five. Oh, don't even look. Devin Royal is gonna be all Big Ten player this year. Please respect my guy.
I would take Clough and perhaps Jacobson over him.
You know what? Purdue can't have everything. Let's move on. Steve Nash. Carter will like this. Greg probably won't. Well, Greg's not here, so here we go. He doesn't value my basketball takes anymore, but here it is. Michigan State finishes top three in the Big Ten, and Cohen Carr makes second team All Big Ten. I've got him averaging 14 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 blocks a game. He'll live at the free throw line if he shoots it better from the stripe. Watch out. Defensively, he's a problem. Blocks, steals, transition buckets. And even if he hits 30% from three, I think he's a first team guy. With Jeremy Fears and the FAU transfer pushing the tempo, we're doing the classic doubt Izzo routine again. That's my sleeve take of the day.
Me and Slee are on the same page, man.
Is that good?
It's good for sleeve.
It's good for sleeve. No, sleeve. I'm not mad at that take. There's just so many question marks and development on players on Michigan State that I think need to take steps, including Jeremy Fears, who I think is going to be massive. But to your point, there's so much of the game that Cohen Carr can affect just by being an athlete and playing hard. Like that gets him to a lot of places on both ends of the floor, right? And he showed significant improvement, in my opinion, from being
Yeah.
a complete non-shooter to a still a non-shooter, but like I saw him hit some shots. So it's like I expect him to maybe even make a jump. Top three in the Big Ten. I guess honestly, outside of the top two, it's really up for grabs. Outside of the top one, it's kind of up for grabs. So it's not the worst take in the world. Tom Izzo still can get it done.
Who is Michigan State's guy this year?
You asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you because I don't think there's an obvious
I don't think I can't answer that right now because I
one.
don't know
Okay.
who it is.
So somebody with Carr's talent, the raw tools that he has, along with the kind of the effort, hustle plays, the do everything stuff the little things that he does that Izzo loves. Why would it not like just take off for him this year?
Yeah, I mean it's very look, I would love to see it. I hope I do see it. For please let me know.
I hope you see it too, Cart.
Thanks, Rob. That means a lot to me. Go Gamecocks, by the way. T Steffi. Hey guys, what are your top three biggest what ifs in college basketball history? What about for all sports?
My biggest one for college basketball is what if Gordon Hayward's shot went in against Duke and Butler's got a natty?
I was gonna say that too, because like that also sets off like Brad Stevens like staying at Butler, maybe?
Maybe, I don't know, because I mean he stayed long enough and then the Celtics came calling and
That's
the
true.
Celtics were gonna come calling. What if Emmanuel Sharp let off his shot instead of throwing it down in the final seconds of the title game?
That's a good one. That's a really good one. I'm trying to think of like what ifs in college basketball
My
history.
third one, what if Roy Williams never left Kansas?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Because I think Kansas would be fine, but Kansas doesn't get Bill Self.
Hmm.
North Carolina doesn't get Roy Williams, so who do they go after? Are they back to winning championships a couple years after, or are they toiling around a little bit more?
That's a good one. I like all the ones you did. So Michigan State wise, I gotta always throw this out there. What if that tournament year happened with Cassius Winston's senior year?
Yeah.
Honestly, what if the tournament just happened that year? Like honestly, we're a year that just has a gap in a whole March Madness tournament. Like
Yeah.
that not happening was just devastating.
We would view Obi Toppin, we would view Peyton Pritchard, we would view Miles Powell, we would view Malachi Flynn completely differently,
Right.
I think,
It
had that tournament been played.
True. Like not having that tournament, I think just set off a bunch of things. Um, I think you said some good college basketball ones, some random just like NBA ones. For me personally, I was the biggest Markel Fultz fan of all time. So like what if he just didn't like whatever happened to him happen? He was so good at Washington.
For all you newbies who are like scoffing, go back and watch Markelle Fultz highlights at Washington and tell me it's the same guy who showed up for the Sixers because it's not.
It's not even close. Not even
I
close.
would take like just going off of college tape, I would take Fultz again over Tatum, even knowing what we know now about Tatum.
Facts. That college tape was in absolutely incredible. And then I guess another what if for me. Just the whole injury question with everybody. Like, what if like the best players all the time, just like what like Brandon Roy for me, what if he never got injured? What if
Yeah,
Derrick Rose never messed up his knee? What if Ja Morant stayed off Instagram? Like, just the what ifs of the world are always all gonna take me by storm.
that's solid. That's solid. One of my good South Carolina football ones is what if Marcus Ladmore didn't tear his ACL twice?
That knee injury was so disgustingly
Yeah,
nasty.
two of them, two of
He
them
had
that
two
were
of
like
those?
that. Yeah, he had two of them that were like. Now the last one was the really bad one, but he had two pretty disgusting ones.
Yeah, that's tough. He was nasty.
Yeah,
Bad,
those
bad.
were those were peak Spurrier Gamecock teams. That what if we had a playoff then,
Hey,
right?
y'all are back, man. Y'all are back. Let's see. Malik Perry Carter mentioned how LeVar Ball say something in his kids. Then you said your dad should have did the same thing. Maybe Luther, I mean Mr. Elliott saw what you would become and didn't make you grind. P.S. Those pants make you look bigger. Just trying to help you back in shape. Starts. Thanks, Malik, man. 2 days back to back with a run, so I appreciate you. Look out for me this next college basketball season. Malik Perry, once again, Illinois fans have really been showing out. They're acting like Brad did something this offseason that was different. Didn't make the Final Four. Multiple players left. Got recruits in the transfer portal. At what point do we stop buying into the Brad might not get over the hump?
If the European stuff doesn't work out,
I mean, would you bank on Brad Underwood getting over the hump?
the guy made the Elite Eight two
Yeah, like
years ago.
all like this is my biggest takeaway for anything when I had this conversation. You know, Kevin Ollie won a national championship.
Right.
So like if you dream high enough and you do it right and you get it hot at the right time, you can do it.
If he stays at Illinois long enough, he will get there, and he'll get there sooner rather than later. The way that he's recruiting and just how good of a coach he is, but he has to. I do think he has to eliminate some of the hard-headedness. For instance, don't go at Donovan Clingan when you give up 30 points in a row. You continue to do so.
It's the craziest post game statement of all time. The Pat Signal. Any predictions on the winner of the U.S. Open this weekend? I got Justin Thomas because he's from the Ville.
I'm actually in a U.S. Open pool.
Of course you
I
are.
have to remember who I picked.
Justin Thomas has been letting me down lately. So I don't know who I'm gonna
Yeah,
the
we're
course.
gonna we're gonna go with Tommy Fleetwood.
Tommy Fleetwood. I like the Tommy Fleetwood pick.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do a
I was
cop
I
out
was
here.
10th in our draft order, by the way.
Good
But
one.
Tommy Fleetwood's gonna
That's
win.
good. That's good value at 10. I'm gonna take a cop out answer here. Give me a live guy to win. Give me just any of the live guys. I think it's their time to win it. But it'll probably end up with just Scotty Scheffler winning once again because that's what he does.
Yeah.
Dreadhead Dead Royal the King pre-ordered a lot of Antoine West and Bencher stock. It's in the stand on business. With that being said, Cox and Harris are cooked for Purdue, respectfully.
Why are they cooked?
I mean, you can't play all these guys.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
don't know. How
I,
many rotations do we think were set at this point last year that it got to December? We are like, oh yeah, we were wrong.
yeah, I mean, it's probably different. Also, like, I'll probably be wrong on this one because this is what happens with me in Purdue, but like, I gotta see it with the Jack Bencher stuff in like real life settings, like not high school. I gotta see it. I will watch. I need one exhibition game or scrimmage to see Jack Benter in there, and then I will make a decision. That's all I
I
need.
think that's fair.
Yeah,
I
just
think that's fair.
wait and see. Sleeve Nash thought this would be good to read on the pod from Miss Nash. Can we please stop listening to Greg at 5? Can you please stop listening to Greg at 5 in the morning? And why is he talking about a girl being cute on social media? And did Carter have the day off? I only heard that preacher guy. Have a good weekend. Also, Miss Nash, Sleeve, are you married? What is this? I didn't even know you had I didn't know
I'm
you
sure
had
it
a.
was between the 26 to 32 window.
Oh yeah, well, I don't think Sleeve Nash is 26 though. If I don't know, he doxed himself one time to me, but I don't really know his age. I just know what he looks like. Let's see here. War Chant. Kasparis Giacchionis received a green room invite. Should he accept it? I think that's a real question to consider because there is a world where he really drops in this draft. We have a topic on green room stuff, so I'm gonna go ahead and save our thoughts for that on that. Um, Mutant Matt, do you guys root for any other programs other than your primary teams? I always root for Butler. Several family members are alumni, and I have the fond memories of cheering for the 2010 and 2011 runner-up teams.
Okay. Um, my cop out answer, it changes every year because I root for myself to be right. I root for LSU football a lot.
Oh, so
I
brave, of you, Brian.
I know. I think they're fun. I
Also, that's
think that
crazy. You being a South Carolina fan, you're rooting for LSU football. Those are the odds.
that's that's probably the number two because part of me is like I just want to go to every LSU football game. It looks like a great time,
It does. It truly
you
does.
know.
Yeah.
But basketball wise, it's just for me to be right, and it varies year by year.
Yeah, I feel like on a year to year, I don't think there's any like sustained stuff. Obviously, if I have a personal connection to like, if I know an assistant coach, if I know someone that plays there,
Right.
something like that, like I obviously want my friends and people around me to be successful. But I do kind of like take it year by year. Like, last year. I was just very much in on Florida because I thought they were really fun. I thought Walter Clayton was
Right.
extremely fun. So like that was a fun team to watch. I think I kind of just like go year by year as far as like that's a great brand of basketball. I'm cheering for that because that's enjoyable to watch. I love that. I feel like this year is going to be Louisville for me. I'm just going to be in on
Yep.
them. I just think they're going to be extremely fun to watch. So that'll probably be it. But I think yeah, to your point, like being right, it's kind of a year by year basis. I also want to be right
Right.
because who doesn't want to be right?
Exactly.
um. Let's see here. Neil B and N. Quick thought. Who has the best shooting team in the country this coming year? Louisville.
It might be Louisville. Yeah.
Yeah. AKA
Might be Louisville.
my cards. L's up. Um, if you could have dinner with one former athlete, dead or alive, who would it be?
Bill Russell.
Why Bill Russell?
I feel like he's the original GOAT. 13 titles, 11 as a player. Just the life lessons you learn, things about winning, things about teamwork. Like I feel like there's a lot you could get from Bill Russell.
That's a good one. Uh, which is, you know what? Pat White, former West Virginia quarterback.
Ooh, why Pat White?
Because I wanted to be Pat White. I thought I was Pat White back in the day.
Is it just dinner or is it like are we going out after?
See, that's a whole new question because if we're going out after, like, I might want to go to dinner with like Johnny Manziel or something.
That was where I was going with this. Is this a 5 hour dinner at a place that turns into a club afterwards, or what are we doing?
Me, you, Manziel, San Antonio.
Would have kept up better than Dion.
Shout out to yeah. Shout out to the Discord comments. That does it for the Discord comments today. We are brought to you by the good folks over at 2K Labs. 2K Labs has some of the best information that you can get on NBA 2K player rankings. Also, college football 26 stuff, Ralph. They have
I
mini game
know.
that they got scouting on there, so that's gonna be perfect for you, perfect for me who needs to gain a competitive edge on the game. Also, they feature our NBA draft big board on their website. So if you can go see all the prospects leading up to the draft, how we feel about that. And I always mention this, they got this great geography mini game, which I love to see. And as someone who needs to fix their geographical know-how, they do a great job of providing that information to me.
I love it. I'm tapped into the college football 26 stuff already. We're in the process. We're Like we're on to Cincinnati. We're on a 26.
See, that's sickening because Roush is going to beat us all. But without further ado, let's get to the show. Topic number one today, the first wave, as Jonathan Gavoni refers to it as, 13 players have received an invitation to the NBA draft green room, including some of the names that you see on this list are like, okay, thanks for, stating the obvious news if you didn't know the sun actually came up today. But the 13 players that have received the invitation so far are Cooper Flagg, Dylan Harper, Ace Bailey, VJ Edgecombe, Trey Johnson, Kaman Malawak, Jeremiah Fears, Con Knipple, Kasparish Yakashonis, Yegor Demon, Demeen, my fault, Carter Bryant, Derek Queen, and Asanul. Those are the first batch of invites that were sent out. Now, there will be another 11 invitations that are expected to be sent out for some players to attend the green room. The green room is a staging area, basically, like right below the podium, where some of the top prospects go. We have seen in the past there have been prospects that have been in the green room and then found themselves slipped to late in the first round, maybe even the second round in some scenarios, and have players waiting for a very, very long time. Now, something I actually did not know about this, hand up on this, a little bit of just unknown by me, but the process of deciding who gets invited to the combine is basically asking the general managers and the presidents of the teams that are picking in the first round, and they vote on the top 25 players whose names they expect to hear called first. So that's to ensure that the players that aren't sitting around. So you can take away what you want from this list. Obviously, there's some very okay, those are obvious picks, but there's also some picks
Mhm.
in here that are like, okay, I've seen Carter Bryant mocked in some different spots. I've seen Asanul
Yeah.
predicted in some other spots. What do you take from, I guess, this being the first batch? And then, the second part of this question, are there some players that you were maybe shocked to not see a part of the first batch?
I don't think so. I think this validates a lot of the like early risers or the risers in the process. Like Carter Bryant, you mentioned being there. I would take this as a sign there's a real chance he goes in the lottery.
Mm.
There's a real chance like the Spurs at 14 has been linked a lot. I think this more credence to that. Derek Queen's been hovering right around 10. At one point he thought he was slipping a little bit, then he moved back up into the top 10. I think there's a good chance he sticks in the lottery as well. Asa Newell's the interesting one to me because you see him like typically in the later teens. Would expect him to be in the second wave, but him being in this first wave, I wonder if there's some lotto potential there for him as well.
Yeah, he had a really good year, freshman year at Georgia. Underrated, I think. Obviously, great tools with him and great winning tools. I think, obviously, what he did with Mount Verde on that really good team with Cooper
Mhm.
Flag on that basketball team. Now, obviously, you know, there's no like Jayce Richardson on here. There's no Will
Yep.
Riley on here. Some other guys that have kind of been mocked in that area. Neek Clifford's a guy who I've seen kind of in that, maybe borderline kind of range there. Is there anybody, I guess I'll ask this before we move on to the people who might get invited. Who's the most likely slip candidate, you think, in the first one? I know we were doing the comments and someone mentioned Kasparish Yakashonis. I don't think there's a world Kasparish really slides out of the first round at all or anything like that. Is there a slide candidate for you in that first group?
I do think Yakashonis is a potential slide candidate, not out of the first round. I don't know if any of those guys would go out of the first round. Uh, Asa Newell to me and Derek Queen to me are the two slide candidates because there is the some of the physical profile stuff with Queen that are question marks, and you could see a team taking like an Asa Newell just for the athletic profile over Queen
Mm.
and then have him slide. The production for Newell wasn't always there, so there's a chance he slides as well in favor of some of these guys that have not gotten agreement invites yet. But I feel like there's a pretty solid like top 10, 11, 12 with this draft. So I don't think there's a ton. We're not going to see like a Filipowski, I don't think. Like a guy who was a green room invite pretty early on and then ends up going second round. I don't think we're going to get any of that with this group, but it wouldn't surprise me if uh, Queen fell maybe to the late teens, if Newell fell into the 20s, or even if Yakushonis fell into the 20s.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say. And then also, so just according to Gavoni, because he's the person who came with this article, Asanul is the only player that is been invited in that first batch that's not projected to be a lottery pick. And there's a little bit more of an emphasis put on this too, because now the draft's 2 days. So like
Right.
if you don't get drafted and you're sitting in the green room, it's like you walk home and you gotta like, do you come back? So I think there's some emphasis put on there. I'll ask you this. because obviously this means something to me. Does Jayce Richardson get an invite?
I think he will. Like you got to have, you're going to invite 24 people.
Hmm.
I think he will be one of the 24. Um, but I like he's not a lotto pick. I think him checking in at what was it 6 foot without shoes?
Yeah, something like give or take a quarter of an inch.
Yeah, put a question mark on that. I think some team takes him, but he's somebody who I could see sliding to like the very end of the first round.
Yeah, I think so too. I hope I hope he's right around that, that range, I guess, of what I would call like borderline lottery. But it'll be interesting to see what are the other names that end up being in this kind of next batch of invites. Might see some international guys in there. I don't even know. I know
Colin Murray
Noah.
Boyles better be in there.
What'd you say?
Colin Murray Boyles better be in there.
Say, honestly, you never know, but I can't wait for Gavoni to let me know who will be there. Maybe Danny Wolf will get an invite. Who really knows? But we'll be looking forward to see who's in that next batch of players that will be attending the NBA Green Room. Topic number two today. First off, NCAA. Look at you. Look at you doing something right. Thank you. We appreciate you. Big news that took place the other day. Coaches' challenges are now going to be part of the basketball game where, Ralph, we might be able to watch the last 2 minutes of a game. And when you tell your wife you'll be upstairs in 10 minutes because there's only 2 minutes left, you won't be lying because the coaches' challenge will now be a part of the game. And it spurred the idea of this second topic of coming up with five more rule changes to college basketball that would add to the game, make the game better in your opinion, and just enhance the basketball game in general. Sound good to you?
Sounds great. And I want to give a shout out to 2K because when you do the my errors load up, you can pick all these different rules and things changes. So I've had years of practice for rules I'd like to see implemented.
Perfect. All right, sounds good. So should we come up with five collectively, or you want to do five each?
Let's do five collectively. I have a list of five, but I think five collectively, so we can put our stamp on it would be good.
All right, great. Do you have any non-negotiables on your list of five?
Quarters.
That was on mine too. So we can both agree on
Yeah.
that. Quarters would be great. I think quarters one would just be make basketball more universal. Right? I write across how it is through all sports and the whole media timeout thing. Like wouldn't that assist with that as well?
Yeah, I think you lose one because you'd have probably like halfway through each quarter at the under five essentially, and then the break in the quarters. So you'd have three in the first half instead of the current four. But I think would be okay with it if you tacked on like an extra 30-second spot in each break. I think it would help with flow that way. And the quarters too would help break up the fouls. So we're not having a free throw parade for the last 14 minutes of a half if somebody's fouling a lot early. You know what I mean? I think that's the biggest key with quarters, along with just the fact that basketball is played in quarters, is the resetting of the fouls every quarter.
Yeah, that's very. Also, there was a rule on my one that I want added, and I don't know if you would agree. I want six fouls. Now, I don't know if you agree with that or not.
I don't agree with that. I agree with the six for the extra part of 48 minutes. Also, I think we've kind of jumped the gun with the responsibility where we've like just add a six foul because these guys can't stop fouling. Just stop fouling.
It's hard. It's hard not to foul, man.
Move your feet.
It's hard. You ever try
Work on
moving
those
your feet?
slides.
Yeah, you ever try moving your feet? It's hard.
It is hard. That's why I was a turnstile on defense. I just let him go past.
I'm so torn on that rule because I really would enjoy actually seeing, just the not auto benching players with two fouls. I think would go a long way
Yeah.
in improving
And
the game.
I do think as it becomes the sport in general becomes more commercialized and with the new house settlement, schools are paying players directly. It would not surprise me to see a push so that the stars can be on the court longer
Hmm.
without foul trouble. That would not surprise me. But that's not one of my five. Let's put it that way. I think there are other priorities.
Okay, what else you got on your list?
I would love for college, and I'd love for the NBA to do this too, implement the FIBA goaltending rule, where if the ball hits the
The
rim, you
rim?
can touch it.
Mm. Mm. Why though?
Just the idea of like, all right, you shot a three, ball hits the rim, it bounces up. Somebody can go grab it. We're not worried about the cylinder rule. If somebody, crossed over to tap the ball in or tip slam it, you just Hit the rim, it's free game.
Okay, I kind of like that. I did have a defensive rule on mine. Don't know if you're going to agree with it, but as a Big Ten fan, the camping in the lane kills me. I would actually like defensive 3 seconds to be a part of the game.
Disagree. I would like defensive 3 seconds to be implemented again to the NBA.
Uh,
Or eliminated. Eliminated.
eliminated?
Allow guys to hang out in the paint.
You like
Yes.
guys just camping in the lane, just clogging things up?
It's not an issue if you space the floor.
Yeah, well, I don't. I hate Syracuse, and all they do is play 2-3 zone. And
Part of what I think makes college
I
basketball
want Daniel Jacobson to not be able to camp in the lane. That's where this is coming from.
part of why I think one of the things I do love about college basketball, and it's why changing the shot clock is not on my list, is I think the slightly longer shot clock and the ability to hang in the paint and do that stuff allows for a wider variety of styles of play. So if you have a big guy, you can park him there. Like it's why Rudy Gobert is so much better in the international game than he is in the NBA, even how good as he is in the NBA defensively, because you can park him at the rim. And it changes the game. It changes things. And I like the having the distinct styles more so than like part of the issue with the NBA we talk about all the time.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair to say. I'm with that. All right. So far we have quarters, which I 100% agree with. We have, did you say
Modified goaltending.
modified goaltending? I semi agree with that. We don't want to change the shot clock.
I would take fouls to 6 over the shot clock.
Give me fouls of 6. Okay. Another one. I'm gonna need you to agree with me eventually. We have 4 right here.
Okay.
I want continuation.
Continuation was added as part of this
Was
change.
it?
Yep,
Well, damn it. I guess me and them are on the same page. It was added, was it?
it was added. Yep. It's not as long as the NBA, where the NBA is like as long as you don't dribble again, you're fine. College is you can like put the foot down and go up, and it
Okay.
counts. So we could extend continuation to NBA, but I'm just happy that there's some form of continuation now
Please.
coming to college.
All right. So the last one on my list that I wanted, and I think you will agree with, is the advancing of the ball for timeouts.
I'm It's not on my list, but I'm not opposed to it.
Let me hear the rest on your list and we'll see where we go. I might pull rank.
All right, let's see here. I got my list. Uh, this is, I think, my most emphatic one is to ensure that if we're calling a charge, that there's forcible contact, that it's actually a charge, and
That's
that
gonna
it's
put
not just
reviews,
somebody
it's gonna
falling.
put reviews back in the game.
Get better officials.
You're sending people to
Uh,
the
I
monitor.
also I want to eliminate the possession arrow. I hate it.
Well, you want actual jump balls?
Actual jump balls.
Okay, I like that one. The one before that, mine gets in place. Advance the ball in timeouts.
That's fine. And then no possession arrow.
That's amazing. And just like that, I hope they played this video at the next panel meeting. We are here to fix the game. Sleepers Media, we got y'all. Final topic today. It wouldn't be June if we didn't start firing off our hot takes for the season already. Ralph, let's go with 3 each here. I want
Okay.
your hottest takes going into next season. Now, in the spirit of you being in hot ass Jacksonville, Florida, I'm talking like some actual hot takes here, Ralph. I'm not gonna let you get a cop out. No cop outs
Okay.
whatsoever. They might sound crazy, but if you believe them, that's what it's all about. But they need to be somewhat scorching. Does that sound good?
That sounds great to me.
Do you want to lead us off?
I kind of did with my Cohen Carr being a first team All Big Ten guy, apparently.
Well, go ahead and talk to me a little bit more on that.
The idea of Michigan State does not have a clear-cut alpha. I think Cohen Carr has the physical tools that you cannot teach. We've already seen him develop a ton from a freshman to a sophomore year. I think we're going to see that again from sophomore to junior year. The fact that there's an opportunity for there to be a guy, and Izzo relied on him more and more as last season went on. I think there's a potential for him to be perhaps the best two-way guy in the country. Put him on first team All Big Ten, get some All American buzz in there as well. I think Cohen Carson for a huge year.
Ralph, damn it, I really hope you're right, and I hope this doesn't fall into your Houston take from last year. My so I had to get that in. My hottest take, or one of my hottest takes, is that Ryan Conwell is going to win ACC Player of the Year
Huh.
over all the Duke guys.
All right.
Overall, those guys, and also with a little caveat to that, a little two for one with my L's up here. Louisville wins the ACC.
I don't think that's that hot.
What about with Conwell winning ACC Player of the Year?
With Conwell winning ACC Player of the Year is that.
Is
Yes.
that there we go? There's my first hottest take.
Is
Hmm.
Conwell going to be Louisville's best player?
Who will be?
I think you got a number of guys on that team who could be.
If they win the ACC, probably going to give it to the best player. I think Ryan Conwell will be the best player. I think it'd be if I had to rank it, it'd be Conwell. See, the thing is, like, I like some of the front court guys. Like, I like Frew a lot. But
Like
if I'm ranking the guards, I'd probably go Conwell, Brown, Woolley, McNeely.
I think that's fair. But I think you could I think there's a very good chance Michael Brown becomes the best guard on that team. I think there's a good chance Woolley becomes the best guard on that team. There's a good chance Conwell is too. But like if you're not the best guard on your team, or there's not a question, if there's a question for the best guard on your team, it's hard to win Conference Player of the Year.
That's very true. I'm just noticing now that all my hot takes are surrounded by Conference Player of the Year, so I'm going ahead and get my second one out right here.
Okay.
Uh, Darren Peterson is Player of the Year in the Big 12.
I don't hate that.
That's over Debansa. That's over the Houston guys. That's over any Arizona guy. That's like he's Freshman of the Year in the conference and also Player of the Year.
I'll stick in the Big 12 for my next one.
Please.
I think Baylor is one of the last four teams in the tournament.
So everyone's just fading Scott Drew this year, huh?
I hate that roster. The reason I have them not missing the tournament is because of Scott Drew.
Really?
Really, I think they have not played defense since Jerome Tang left, and they've been buoyed by a first round guard the last 3 years. They do not have.
Mm. So you don't like the transfer guard from Wyoming and the stretch four, was it Rataj from Oregon State? None of those guys?
I mean, we thought Jeremy Roach and Norchad Omi were going to be enough to have them be a top five team last year.
Tunde Yesufu? No, doesn't do anything for you?
Doesn't do anything for me.
Man, all right, Ralph, that's fine to say. The Scott Drew hate's just getting out of is not hate, but like I feel like a lot of people are saying like this might be the tipping point for like Scott Drew, and it's kind of like little teeter of mediocrity the past couple years.
Every coach has that point where it's just like it seems like they lose it a little bit. And
Hmm.
I have so much respect for Scott Drew. Taking the Baylor program from where he took a 220 national championship was insane. But I do think there was an impact to losing Jerome Tang. And I do think that there's a little bit of not complacency, but the idea of like having a whole bunch of guards that can do really good things. Like he was ahead of the curve on the versatile big man who could handle the ball. He was ahead of the curve on, running, three, four guards out there. But now that's kind of the norm. And there isn't the next thing he's on.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of substance there with that, so I can't argue with that. So Ralph, a little twist here. I had my last hottest take as a tie. I'm gonna let you decide which one is hotter, but letting it
Okay.
be known, I believe both.
Okay.
My first one is that Lamar Wilkerson is first team All Big Ten. My second one is that Ohio State finishes top four in the Big Ten.
The Ohio State one is significantly hotter.
Significantly hotter.
Yeah. Please sell me on that.
Okay, so when you actually look at the talent on this basketball team, like I know that Diebler has struggled, but one, Diebler's won in Mackey. Takes a tough coach to win in Mackey. With that said, I do look at players in the talent. Like Bruce Thornton is extremely talented. Like Mobley coming back, that's talented. They got rid of the bad front court players. I like Tilly, the transfer from Santa Clara. I like Devin Royal on that basketball team. I just think that they have kind of I think they eventually just put it together with the talent on their team. And like this is a big, massive bet on Diebler, which is terrifying. Really terrifying. But they get rid of Michi Johnson. They get rid of some other guys on this bet. Like they get rid of Sean Stewart and they get rid of Aaron Bradshaw. I like Tilly and Devin Royal in the front court there, combining that with the guard play that they can have. I'm doing the unthinkable, and I'm gonna go ahead and buy Ohio State. I also like that international guy they got. Very interested to see how he kind of goes into the fold there, but I think I actually like the roster.
Okay. I don't agree.
It's okay. You'll come around eventually. You'll come around eventually. What's your last hottest take?
In the spirit of you having two, I also have two
Ooh,
that I will let you decide which one is hotter and gets included here.
let's hear it.
So one of them is that either Nate Oates or Todd Golden is coaching North Carolina at this time next year.
Hey, that's pretty hot.
I think there's a good chance Ian Jackson and Drake Powell get Hubert fired this year.
How do they get it? He's gone. What you mean?
I think Ian Jackson's going to be awesome at St. John's. I think Drake Powell is going to drastically outperform his draft position. And
Oh,
if UNC is like 23-11,
mm. Okay, you know what? I like them both. I
yeah.
think it's hotter that Todd Golden or Nate Oates ends up being the coach at North Carolina
Well,
next.
I haven't given you my number two yet. That's all
Oh,
included
that's
in
all. That's
because
all.
Hubert's got to get fired,
Oh,
and
wow.
then
Okay, yeah.
Todd Golden or Nate Oates take
You got a
over.
hot take with a lot of legs. I like that.
Yeah.
All right, what's the next one?
The next one is that the final four will be Rick Pitino centric, including St. John's, Louisville, and Kentucky.
I think the first take is hotter, but that second take is also hot. I might just give you four because those are both hot takes. So you think Kentucky, Louisville,
And St.
and
John all
and
make the
St.
final four.
John's all make the. Actually, that one might be hotter. That might be hotter. I think that's the hottest one.
I think my dream final four for this year is those three and Purdue.
No Houston,
No Houston,
no BYU.
no BYU, just because it's in Indianapolis.
You want to see St. John's in the Final Four like that?
If Louisville and Kentucky are also there, and Rick Pitino is like championing both,
Why don't you put Arkansas in there? Let's make it all Patino connected. Honestly,
Arkansas is not making Arkansas is not making the Final Four.
my hot take versus you might be that Arkansas goes further than Kentucky in the tournament.
I think we may need to be more worried about Arkansas making the tournament, but
Oh,
we'll
relax.
see.
You know what? Let me go ahead and end this before you upset me. Thank you for that hot take segment, Ralph. One big thing presented by just friendship and love. Ralph, please, the floor is yours.
Friendship and love.
Friendship and love.
So as we mentioned here in Jacksonville, Florida, my parents have like a little duplex here, so this is where we will come down for Fairley Beach week. There have been two times since they've gotten this where we've gone out at night to a bar we can walk to. I don't want to name this bar because it's pretty well renowned in the Jacksonville Beach, Atlantic Beach, Neptune Beach area. I've been twice. Both times I have left my wallet at home. I am not somebody who leaves my wallet. I'm not somebody who does this, but there's the basket when you get there, you throw things in. Because we're walking to the beach and walking to this place and walking everywhere we need to go. I don't need like my keys,
Right.
right? Wallet generally attached to that. So obviously you need your ID to get into bars and things. I have gotten into this bar both times without my wallet, without my ID. One time last night, I simply just said my birthday, and they believed me because I look like an old fuck now, apparently. Excuse my language. The other time, I got in with my lack of Snapchat on my phone because the guy believed that then I was old enough to like be married and have kids because I didn't have Snapchat on my phone.
I feel attacked. You don't have Snapchat, Ralph?
I do not have Snapchat.
What if I want to send you a picture?
There are other avenues to do so, but please don't Brett Favre me.
That's crazy pull right there. That's an insane pull. That's crazy because like I get surprised you got carded, to be honest with you. Like you
But
clearly
you don't get card, but you have, like in order to enter, you have to show your ID to show that you are 21.
got you. Okay. See, I'm always getting carded. Ralph, be more responsible and don't forget your wallet. How about that? I know you're on beach time, sand time. Let's show some responsibility, please.
No.
So, okay. Uh, I asked you a simple question. My one big thing today is, I had two options. I want to see what I want to go with. Oh, so I've been doing the early morning run thing, under inspiration of Greg. I think the one thing
Props
I
to you,
did.
by the way. I apologize for interrupting, but
Oh,
props to you, by the way.
thank you.
Props to
It,
you.
it it might not last past next week, but what I'll say is that I completely underestimated how. And look, obviously, I should have known this. How long days are when like you do all that before a certain time. I got caught in the point yesterday where it was before 9 a.m. and I had ran, filled up the kids' bottles, packed up the kid, dropped them off at grandma's, made myself a little food, did all this, did this pre-work, And I'm like, damn, it's already 9 o'clock. Also got to the end of the day and it was like a really busy day. And I'm like, oh my word, I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted. So on top of morning runs, I'm going to have to implement serious bedtimes. Are you a serious bedtime guy, Ralph? Are you a night owl?
I am a night owl. There's a Jerry Seinfeld bit about how, night guy does all this stuff and he doesn't worry about the morning because that's a morning guy's problem. Like
Yeah.
that's me. Every morning I'm like, well, I need to go to bed, all this stuff. And then, I climb in bed at like 10 o'clock and then I'm up at 12, which is on my phone.
Yeah. See, I need to be better than that. My night owl days need to be behind me. And hopefully I will be better. Ralph, thank you for joining me on today's episode. I hope you have a great time in Jackson. Are you going right from Jacksonville to France or even going back home?
No, we're back home. We're back home for a week until my wife goes, and then I'm soloing with the kids for a couple days, and then I'm going to.
All right, solo dad, you'll earn that Paris vacation.
Exactly.
Thank y'all for tuning into today's episode. We will catch y'all tomorrow.